This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. In yesterday's session, we discussed best practices while developing persistence layer. Best practices that we need to follow while developing persistence layer, right? So table per DAO concept, why we need to go for primary key, why we need to avoid vowels at the time of choosing the names, right? All those details we discussed in the last session. So today we are going to talk about environment setup. Today's topic. So environment setup for our persistence logic development, right? So first of all, what is persistence logic? Persistence logic will communicate with persistent logic will communicate with persistent store. Persistent logic will communicate with persistent store. Persistent store can be anything where we can store the data permanently. Persistent store, so we can say file system and we can say database also as a persistent store. We can store the data into files or we can store the data into database also. Both we can consider as a persistent store. Right? So here databases are having more advantages than file systems, so that's why we are going to use database as a persistent store in our applications development. We will use database as persistent store in our applications development. We will be using database as a persistent store in our applications development. Right now, so what are the softwares that are required in order to work with database? So database installation now. So to work with the database, we need to have database server and database client. Database server is required and a database client is also required for us, right? Now tomorrow when you go for a company, how this environment looks like, how the softwares are going to be installed, where the softwares will be installed, that's we need to understand. And for our classroom, what setup is required also, that we need to understand, right? So tomorrow in the company environment, multiple developers will be available who are working on the same project. So multiple developers will be working on the same project. Now assume that there are several developers are there working for same project. This is developer 1. Now like that, there are 4 developers are there who are working for same project. They are working from same location or they may be work from different location. That's not a problem. So as part of the development, they need to develop some persistent logic also, where we will store the data of our application. Right. Now in the company, what will happen? Company will provide one computer for our project. They will provide one computer for our project. This computer is called as a remote machine. This computer is called as a remote machine. Inside the remote machine, they will be installing one software which is called database server. DB server will be installed to that machine, which is remote machine, which will be in some location. We don't know in which location also that is available. Database server will be installed in one remote machine. Now, so this developer is writing some code. So he is working from Hyderabad. So as part of his application development, he want to connect it to the project database, because all these developers are working for one project only. Now this developer should connect it to the database. Second developer also should connect to the database. Third developer connect to database. Fourth developer also should connect to the database, because all these developers are working for same project. For project, we have only one database. So now, do you think that this developer will install the database in his machine? No. This developer, whatever the developer is available here, this developer will not install the database in his machine because he's not working for his own. He's working for a project. For project, we will have one common database. For project, we will have one common database. All the developers should connect to that database only. All the developers should connect to that database only. Right now, so what this person has to do is this developer will install one software called DB client software. He will use one software called DB client software. Server will not be available in his machine. He will be having only database client software. Using this database client software, here also DB client will be installed. Here also DB client will be installed. Here also DB client will be installed. So tomorrow when you join in the company, what setup we need to do? We just need to install database client softwares, not the database server software. Database server software will be installed by database administrators in the remote machine. Now, so using this database client software, we can connect to database server. Here also using this DB client, he will connect to database server. He will connect to this server. He will also connect to the server. That means all the developers will be using database client softwares in order to connect with the database server software. Right now, in order to communicate with this, we need system IP, we need URL, we need username and password. So every developer is going to get IP address of the computer where our server is running, and what is URL of our database server, what are the credentials of our server. All those details will be given to all the developers who are working in the project. So he will use these details, he will use these details, he will also use these details. So by using these details, they will use, by the help of client software, by using those details, all the developers will connect to database server. Tomorrow once you join in the company, they will provide one computer for you. It may be a desktop or it may be a laptop. Right, nowadays companies are providing laptops only because people can do work from home also. Right, so whenever you have that laptop, so in that laptop database will not be available. In that laptop database will not be available. Database will be available in a computer which is there in the company. That computer is a remote computer. In that computer, database server will be installed. Then sir, if the server is available in another computer, how can I connect to that database? How can I see data available in the database? So that's where database client software comes into picture. In your system, you are going to install only database client software. You are going to install only database client software. Using the database client software, you can connect with the database server software. Using the database client software, you can connect with database server software. So what is the purpose of this database client, which is used to communicate with the server? I want to write the SQL query, I want to execute that query, I want to retrieve the data available in the server, I want to see that data in my system, I want to delete one record available in the server, I want to update one record available in the server. So in order to perform all those card operations, in order to see our database data, in order to see the data, we are going to install client software in our machine. Using that client software, we are going to connect to database server. So in order to connect to the server, what details are required for us? IP address of the computer, URL of the database, username and password also required. Using those four details, we can connect to database server. So tomorrow, once you join in the company, this kind of architecture you are going to see. In your system, database server will not be available. In your system, only database client software will be available. Using that client software, you will connect to database server software. So who will install database server in the company? Database administrator will be available. That person will install server software in one computer. Now, as a developer, we are going to install client software in our machine. We are going to install only client software in our machine. So this is the funda in the real time. I hope you are able to understand how people will work with the databases in the real-time projects, right? So in the project development, all the developers will connect to the same database. All the developers will connect to same database. So how every developer will connect to same database using the credentials of the database. So every developer will install client software in their systems. Using that client software, they will connect to server software. Only client will be there in our machine, server will be available in different machines, right? Now database server and database client. So in industry, in company environment, DB server will be installed by DB admins in remote machines. In company environment, DB server will be installed by DB admins in remote machines, right? After installing the database, after installing DB server, DB team will share database details for the team members. Database details to team members. So what are the details they are going to share? URL, username, password, URL, username, password, sometimes service name also. What is it? That is, we will use XE as a service name or ORCL as a service name. So they are going to share the service name also to the team members. So DB server, DB client. In company environment, server will be installed by DB admins in the remote machines. After installing the DB server, DB team will share database details to the team members like below. URL, username, password, service name of the database also will be shared to the team members. Now, developers and testers will install database client software in their machines. Developers and testers in the project, so developers will be available, testers will be available. Both people has to do the testing with the database and do the development with the database. Right now, developers and testers will install database client software in their machines. So for example, here these people are going to install kind of SQL developer is one of the client software. Some people will go for Toad also, etc. Like this. These are client softwares that we are going to install in our system. SQL developer is one of the famous DB client software. Toad also we can use as a database client software. Server will not be available in our machine, so you have to remember that point. Only client will be available in our machine. So what is the client for the database? Either you can use SQL developer or Toad. If it is a Oracle database, then you will go for SQL developer or Toad. If it is a MySQL database, then you will go for MySQL Workbench, like that. Based on the database, we are going to install client softwares, right? For MongoDB Chef is available, like this. So for every database, dedicated DB clients are available. So if your project is using Oracle database, then you will install SQL developer in your system, or you will install Toad in your system. Suppose if your project is using MySQL database, then you will install MySQL Workbench in your system, right? If your project is using MongoDB, then you will install Mongo Chef in your system, like that. Based on the database, you are going to install client software in your computer. Are you able to understand? Look at this diagram. So tomorrow when you are working in the project, you don't deal with the DB servers. You will just install client. Using that client, you will connect with the server. So what are the informations required to connect with the server? URL, username, password, service name. If you have those details, using this client, you can connect with the database server also. Are you clear with this one? Fine. Next. Here, for practice purpose, for learning purpose, in my machine, I will install both database server and database client software. So here I'm not working in any company project. Here it is a training program, right? As part of this training, in order to show you the complete picture about the persistent logic, I need to have database server and a database client. So in the same machine, in whatever the screen that you are seeing in this my laptop, DB server will be available as well as DB client also will be available. So first I will install Oracle database in my system. Then I will install Oracle client also. Client I am using SQL developer. So for learning purpose or for training purpose, in my machine, I will install both database server software and a database client software. Are you able to follow this? Right. Now, in my computer, I already installed Oracle database. Right here, I will show you the software for the Oracle. So softwares, Oracle XE. So here Oracle xe.exe file is available. So whenever you double click on this file, so it will take some steps to install the software. This Oracle XE is a database server. Oracle XE is a database server. Now here server, DB server. I am going to use Oracle xe.exe file. Oracle xe.exe available with me, which I already installed in my machine. So whenever we install that Oracle XE, we are going to get a run SQL command line. Run SQL command line also we are going to get. So by using this, we can execute the queries. This is acting as a client. SQL command line is a client. But in the real time, we don't use this SQL command line to write our queries. By using this also, I can connect to my database. So by giving username and password, I can connect it to my database. Right. I connected to my database, but we don't use this. I don't like this SQL command line. So I'm going to install DB client as SQL developer. I'm going to use DB client as SQL developer. It is open source. So first we need to install database server in our machine. Then we need to install database client also in our machine, because for training program, for practice purpose, we need to have both the server and client in the same machine. But tomorrow in the industry, tomorrow when you go for company, you will install only client. Server will be installed in the company computer, you're not in your system. So it will be installed in one separate machine. In your machine, that software will not be available. In your machine only client software. But here we are going to install both server and client softwares in the same machine. But in the industry, in the computer, in your system, in your laptop, only client software will be available. Are you able to understand this? The environment setup that we are doing for the database. So first I told you in the real-time environment, what are the softwares that we are going to install in our machine. Next one, for our practice purpose or for training purpose, what softwares we need to install in our machine. For training purpose, in our machine we will install. For learning or for training purpose, in our machines we will install both database server and database client softwares. So what is the database server software? Database server is Oracle XE. So right now we are going to have this exe file that already installed. That's why I'm not installing once again. If you have this exe, just double click on this, that software will be installed. Then database client, we need to download this SQL developer from Oracle website. So database server is already installed. Now I'm going to install client, which is SQL developer. So from where we can download this SQL developer? So I go to Google, just type download SQL developer for Windows. So it is from Oracle website. Oracle provided this client software for us. Oracle SQL developer. Yeah, Windows 64-bit JDK, it included this download option is there. It will ask you to create the account. Select this checkbox, I received and accept the license agreement. Then you get this download option. If you check the checkbox, you get this download option. it will ask you to log in. I don't think checking whether credentials are valid or not. Yeah, perfect. So my credentials are valid. I already have your account. If you don't have your account, create the account here. You no need to pay any money for that. So just you can create the account. Here, if you observe, one zip file is getting downloaded for us. This zip is called SQL developer. This zip is a SQL developer zip file. I'm passing this because already I downloaded that zip. Fine. So go to softwares folder. So here I'm having SQL developer.zip. So I have Oracle XE.zip and I have SQL developer.zip is available. SQL developer zip file is available, right? Once we extract that zip file, then you can see a folder like this. SQL zip, SQL developer 64-bit one is available now. Once you go inside that folder, you can see SQL developer. So SQL developer software is downloaded. Now we are having a zip. Once we get into that folder structure of that SQL developer, here we have one exe file and one sh file. Exe file, this is for Windows operating system. Sh file, that is for Linux operating system. Right, now let us simply double click on this exe. Already it is opened in my system. Let me close this once. I want to show you that how we can open that SQL developer. So in the morning class that I 7:30 batch, I opened this developer. Now I'm closing this. Fine. Now first time assume that we are launching this SQL developer for first time. You download that SQL developer from Oracle website. You extracted the zip file. Now inside that folder you can see .exe file, SQL developer.exe. Just click on this file, click on run. Now we can see that SQL developer will be opening. Yes, this Oracle SQL developer file is getting open. So this is actually client. Sir, don't say that, sir, we download SQL developer install, it is not working. First you need to install the server. Yes, already I have server in my system, I am not installing it again. Data server already installed. Now I am installing client. First you need to install Oracle SE, then you need to go for SQL developer. Now here SQL developer is installed. SQL developer is installed, which is going to act as a client. Tomorrow also in your system you will install SQL developer. Using that you can connect it to database server. Fine. Once you have this SQL developer, now you can create a connection with the database. So as already database available in our system, we just can create a connection with the database. Right now, for this, I'm going for file. So observe carefully how to create a connection in the SQL developer. So I'm going for file, new, connections, general connections available, database connection, click on OK. So it will ask connection details. What details you want to provide for this connection? You can give some name. So I'm giving our batch name 04SBMS 9:30 AM. Username. So at the time of database installation, you will choose username and password. My database username and password both are same. I have given is_dev. Then I'm giving the same password, host name, localhost, port 1521, service ID is XE. So tomorrow when you go for company, this host name is going to be different because it will be available in a different computer. that IP we are going to pass. Here why I am passing localhost, because it is there in the same machine. Server is available in the same machine. In the company, server will be available in the different machine. That machine IP address we are going to supply as a host name. Now after this, here we have an option called test. Whenever you click on this test, this status will be displayed, whether you are able to connect to the database or not. Now observe, clicking on test. Yeah, status is a success. Yes, we are able to connect to the database server by using database client. Now I want to save this connection. Click on save, then click on connect. So here our database connection is saved. Now we are connecting to the database. So for time being, client and server both are in the same machine. In my computer, server is installed, client is also running. Tomorrow in the company, server will not be there in our machine. Server will be there in the different machine. Right. Now here you can write all your queries. Select star from whatever the table is available. So I have one table with a name called order details. Order details now. Fine. So here there are two records available in the table. We are able to get those records. If you want, you can swap the columns also. You can swap the columns based on the requirement. You can filter the data. If you want, you can see tables which are available. Just second this connection. What are the tables available? It is displaying all the table names which are available in my application, right? So indexes which are available in application, and procedures available in the application, sequences available in the application, and the database, not in the application, the database. What are the sequences available? So all these details we can see from here. But as of now, whenever you done your JDBC course or Hibernate course, your trainers might have opened SQL command line. So, but that is very foolishness, because nobody will use that SQL command line in the industry. So whenever you are working with the database related stuff, you need to go for proper client software. So it would be easy for you to write the queries, right? So SQL Developer is one of the famous client software to connect with Oracle database, right? Now, alternate to the SQL Developer, we are also having a Toad software. Toad software also we can use as a client for the Oracle. But most of the people will prefer to go for this SQL Developer because the UI looks very good and it is very simple to write the queries here, right? So you can perform all the queries you can write. You want to insert a record or you want to update all the card operation queries you can do. Data you can see, retrieve the data, and select star from some tables that I am going to use. CO underscore triggers table is available. Now I want to see how many records are there in the table. So just right click on this data, count rows. So it is giving almost there are 4,999 records are available in the table. Now I want to swap the columns. Just you can swap like this. Just a drag and drop options are going to work. I want to filter this data. Trigger status is C currently, right? I want to filter this data, or I want to see only one particular record. Copy this data. So here we have a filter option. Now just type this data, enter. Only that particular record will be displayed. So several user-friendly operations will be available in the SQL Developer. That is the reason people will use this SQL Developer as a client software in the projects development. So today I want you people to set up this environment in order to work with our persistent layer in the projects, right? So you need, suppose if you don't have the database server in your machine, so you need to install first Oracle database as a server software. For that, Oracle exe file will be available. After that, install SQL command line software that you can download directly from the internet. So this is the environment that is required in order to work with our persistence logic. So today our main agenda is environment setup. So in order to work with the database, two softwares are required. One is database server software, another one is database client software. In our computer, we are installing both, but in the real time, we'll install only client, right? In order to connect with the database, we need to have URL, username, password, and service name. That URL contains a host also. URL contains a host also. Service ID will be provided to you. Port number also will be provided to you. Based on the details, you need to prepare the URL and you need to connect to the database. All right. So with this, we understood what is the setup that we need to do in order to work with the database. Suppose if you are using if you want to use MySQL database, then install MySQL Workbench. So we need to download MySQL Workbench and we need to install that MySQL Workbench. So from where we can download that, let us see. MySQL Workbench download for Windows. Installer, go to download page, are here already available. Windows 64-bit MSI installer, click on download option. Yeah, so it is asking Oracle web account, because I hope you people are already aware MySQL database is owned by Oracle company now, right? So long back this Oracle has purchased this MySQL and they are promoting Oracle database. That's why they are not making any updates to this MySQL database, as it is a open source. No thanks, just start my download. I don't want to log in, just start my download. Yes, now here if you observe, MySQL Workbench also downloaded for us, right? Either you can use Oracle database or you can use MySQL database, right? So I will show you in the next sessions how to install that MySQL and how to work with MySQL database in our applications. But currently, initial applications we are going to develop by using Oracle database. We are going to connect with the Oracle database by using our Spring Data, right? MySQL also downloaded for us. So we will use this in the coming sessions when we are going to interact with MySQL database. Fine. As part of this course, we are going to cover MongoDB also. We will interact with Oracle database, we'll interact with MySQL database, we'll interact with Mongo database, we'll interact with the embedded database also. 4 types of databases we are going to cover here, right? So as part of this Spring Data, currently I'm going to use 2 databases. One is MySQL, another one is Oracle. So initial few applications we will develop by using Oracle, then 1 or 2 applications I will develop by using MySQL. So when we start web applications development, then I will show you how to connect with the embedded database and how to connect with the MongoDB also. Fine. So anybody, any questions, please comment in this setup process. What are the softwares that are required? Does anybody has any questions? Please message. We no need to buy Oracle XE, sir. They are giving trial version also. We will go for here express version of the Oracle, not enterprise edition. Enterprise edition means we need to purchase. Here we are installing express edition. If you have MySQL in your system, then that is sufficient, sir. We are going to experiment both databases. I will teach you how to connect with Oracle database by using Spring Data, and I will teach you how to connect with MySQL by using Spring Data. So if you have both databases, that is good for your practice. In the company for Java projects, mainly Oracle will be used. Oracle database will be used. Yeah, if you have Oracle 11G, then that is sufficient. No need to change. If you already have your Oracle, then no need to change it. Keep it as it is. Extra, we can install MySQL also. If you are SQL developer, then you have to download Oracle server first. XE. If you want, I will give you the zip file, guys. You can download that and you can install. Yeah, MySQL Workbench you can download. Abhinesh, NetBeans. Sir, who is using NetBeans in the industry? That is outdated. NetBeans IDE. I prefer don't go use NetBeans. Nobody is using that NetBeans in the industry. If you want to use IntelliJ, that is latest IDE in the market. Majority of the projects are using Spring Toolsuite or IntelliJ IDEs, not NetBeans. NetBeans outdated long back. If you want, you can use it, but no problem. In my previous 8 years of experience, I have not seen even single project using NetBeans. Initially, we started using Eclipse IDE. Then we started using Toolsuite. Now recently we are starting using IntelliJ. Yeah, Eclipse also people are not using nowadays, sir. IntelliJ is having lot of advanced features than Eclipse and Spring Toolsuite. Yes, sir. IntelliJ open source trial versions we can get for 1 month. So I will explain some shortcuts related to IntelliJ also. How to use IntelliJ and what are the shortcuts, because the Eclipse shortcuts and IntelliJ shortcuts are completely different. Completely different. Right. If you want, let me share these zip files where you can download the softwares. Guys, I'm uploading SQL developer zip. You can directly download or you can download from the net also. Both files I'm uploading. Yes, it will take some time. Let it complete. Fine. Once it is done, I will share the link. Then no need to wait for that. Fine. Any other questions? Anybody in the setup? The softwares that are required? Yes, sir. We will use IntelliJ IDE. Yeah. First, 1 or 2 applications I will develop by using this tool suite. Then we'll start IntelliJ. Oracle Solaris. Solaris, I have no idea on the Solaris, sir. I need to check it once. Fine. So with this, we completed what is the environment that we need to set up in order to start with our concept related to persistence layer development. Right. Next, let us move on. Persistent technologies in Java. Persistent technologies in Java. So we understood what is persistent store. We understood what are persistent operations and how to set up that environment also we understood. Now let's move on to understand how to develop that persistent logic in the Java. How to develop that persistent logic in the Java. So in order to develop persistent logic in the Java, it's not one option. We are having several options. There are several technologies are available. So there are several mechanisms or several options are available. Several options are available to develop persistent logic in Java applications. That we can say there are several persistent technologies are available to develop persistent logic in Java applications. They are first one Java JDBC, second one Spring JDBC, third one OR frameworks, fourth one Spring ORM, and fifth one, the latest in the market, is Spring Data. Like this. So there are several technologies are available or several options are available to develop persistent logic in Java applications. So what are those options? Java JDBC was the first one foremost option available for Java developers to develop persistent logic. Persistent logic means the logic which is responsible to communicate with the database. And next one, Spring JDBC. So Spring framework provided one module, Spring DAO module, or people will call it as a Spring JDBC module, which is also used to develop persistent logic for Java application. Right. To overcome the challenges available in the JDBC, ORM frameworks came into the market like Hibernate, iBatis, Toplink, nBatis, like that. By using those ORM frameworks also, we can develop persistent logic. Right now, on top of the ORM frameworks, Spring ORM module got introduced, which is also used to develop persistent logic. Nowadays, we are going for Spring Data. Now, sir, when these many technologies or these many techniques are available, why we need to learn one more technique to develop persistent logic in our application? That is what we need to understand. So, what is the difference between that Spring ORM and Spring Data? Why we need to learn this Spring Data? Already I know Spring ORM. Already I know ORM frameworks. I know Java JDBC. I know Spring JDBC. I can develop persistent logic in for my application. Then why again I have to learn one more technique that is also used to develop persistent layer in the project? Spring Data. Spring Data is also used to develop only persistent logic in our application. It is used to develop persistent layer in our application. Are you able to follow this? So already you know several techniques which are used to develop persistent layer. Why again we need to learn one more technique to develop the persistent layer? So here I need to compare the existing techniques with the Spring Data. Then you will realize what is the greatness of this Spring Data. What is the greatness of this Spring Data while developing this persistence layer, right? So before going to understand this, first let's try to understand common persistent operations. Common persistent operations. So if you go for any table, what are the common persistent operations we are going to perform? So could you please tell me those things? Come on, message me. So insert record, insert multiple records at a time. Insert one record, insert multiple records at a time. Insert one record, insert multiple records at a time. Then next one, update record, then update multiple records at a time. Update multiple records at a time. Retrieve one record. Retrieve one record. Retrieve all records. Retrieve all records. Retrieve few records. Retrieve few records from the table, not all, not one. I want to retrieve more than one. Retrieve few records, then delete one record. Delete one record. Delete few records at a time. Delete few records at a time. Then delete all records. Delete all records. Next one, get count of records. Get count of records. So these all are common operations that we are going to perform in our persistent layer. So if you take any table, so for that table we are going to do these operations: inserting the data, updating the data, retrieving the data, and deleting the data. Almost 12 operations are common. 12 operations are common for every table. See, if I take a employee table or product table, customer table, doctor table, patient table, triggers table, whatever the table, address table, whatever the table you take. So these all are generic operations that everybody will perform in the persistent layer. Right? If you take one table, I want to insert one record to the table. So I need to update the record. I need to delete the record. I need to retrieve one record. I need to retrieve few records. I need to retrieve all records. I need to delete one record. I need to delete all the records. I want to get the count of the records, total records available in the table. These are very common operations that we are going to perform in each and every table available in the application. Right. Now tell me, in order to perform In order to perform these operations, we need to write 12 methods. We need to write 12 methods in our DAO class, or in the DAO interface we need to write 12 methods. Inserting one method, insert multiple records one method, like that. For all these operations we need to write methods in our DAO interface. For all these operations we need to write, as all the above operations are common. So here we can say below operations are common for, below operations are very generic operations for every table in database. Below operations are very generic operations for every table in database, right? Now, so to perform these operations for a table, then what we need to do? To perform above operations, we need to write methods. We need to write methods in DAO interface, and we should implement all those methods. We need to write methods in DAO interface, and we should implement those methods in DAO IMPL class. To perform above operations in the table, we need to write methods in the DAO interface, and we should implement those methods in the DAO IMPL class. Right. Now, what is the best practice in the persistent layer? Per table one DAO. Per table one DAO. Now, assume that I am having 1000 tables in the project. 1000 tables in the project. So if I have 1000 tables, how many DAO interfaces will be available? Per table one DAO interface. Per table one DAO interface. So 1000 tables, if I have 1000 DAO interfaces, I am going to create. Every DAO interface will contain these 12 methods common. So in every DAO IMPL, these 12 methods I need to implement. So 1000 into 12. 1000 into 12. So those many implementation methods we need to write in our project. So if I write those many methods, logic will be same or logic will be different. If I am inserting a record into the customer table, logic is same. So if I insert a record into the product table, logic is same. Inserting only. I am not doing any extra. Just I need to insert. So just I need to insert the record. So if I am having 1000 tables, 1000 into 12, 12,000 methods we are going to write. 12,000 methods will contain same kind of code. That is called boilerplate code. So we are going to write same kind of code in all the methods. We are going to write the same kind of code in all the methods, right? So to perform above operations, we need to write methods in DAO interface, and we should provide implementation. We should implement those methods in DAO IMPL class. So if our project contains 1000 tables, then we will create 1000 DAO interfaces. Then we'll create 1000 DAO interfaces. In all DAO interfaces, above methods will be common. Above methods will be common. We need to implement all DAO interfaces. We need to implement all DAO interfaces. So that means what will happen? We need to implement all these methods. So implementing interface nothing but we need to implement all those methods. Then what will happen? All the implementation classes will contain same logic. That is called as boilerplate code. All the implementation classes will contain same methods, same logic will be available. That is called as boilerplate code. Are you able to follow this? So generally when you observe, when you are learning JDBC, we think that we are writing a boilerplate code. We are getting the connection, we are loading the driver, creating the statement. That is a boilerplate code. To avoid that boilerplate code, Spring JDBC and ORM frameworks came into picture. Even if you go for these techniques, still we are writing boilerplate code at the method level. So several methods we are writing in several interfaces. Same methods we are writing in several interfaces to perform the same operation. Even if you go for the Spring ORM also, you cannot avoid this problem. You have to create an interface, you have to write the method, you have to implement those methods in your IMPL classes. So at the end, if you observe, these are very common operations for every database table. For every operation, one method we need to write in the DAO interface. That method we need to implement in the IMPL class. Now, think about the big picture. Think about the industry. So in the industry project, 1,000 tables are there. So for every table, these 12 are common operations. These 12 are common operations. So 12 methods I need to implement in one DAO. So 1,000 DAOs are there. 1,000 times I need to implement these methods. Methods logic is same or methods logic is different? Logic is same. All methods are going, all the tables are having the same operations. So same methods, same logic, that is called as boilerplate code. Now, Spring people thought this. Everybody is writing the same logic in the every DAO in the every project. These all are common operational methods. So if I go for 10 projects, 10 projects are having different tables, but every table operationals are same. For my table, these operations I need to do. For your table, you should also do the same operations. If I go for some other project also, they are also doing the same operations. When multiple people are doing the same operations for the tables, why everybody has to write the logic? Why everybody has to write the logic for the same operations? When the operations are same for every table, why we need to write this logic for every table separately? Why can't we reuse the logic? Write the logic only one time. Let us reuse that for the all the tables available in the project. So that's where the notation started for Spring data in the market. So the Spring team thought that, we provided Spring ORM, we provided Spring JDBC, but still people are writing the boilerplate code in the persistent layer, because for every table these operations are common. They are writing the methods, they are only implementing the methods. So the logic is going to be same in all the methods in all the DAOs. So that is called as boilerplate code. So to avoid this boilerplate code for call operations, to avoid boilerplate code, in DAO layer, Spring data came into picture. To avoid boilerplate code in DAO layer, Spring data came into picture. Boilerplate code in DAO layer, Spring data came into picture. If we use Spring data, then we no need to write any method to perform above code operations. If we use Spring data, then we no need to write single method also to perform. We no need to write even single method also. We don't write even single method also to perform above card operations for tables. So card operations will be taken care by Spring data. You no need to write single method also to perform card operations for tables. But if you go for Spring ORM, you should write 12 methods in every DAO. There are 5,000 tables available. 5,000 into 12. Those many methods we need. About 60,000 methods you need to write in your project. 6,000 methods are we need to write in your project. Able to understand this? So to avoid that boilerplate code in the persistent layer, we are going to use this Spring data. So what is the greatness of the Spring data? Spring data is performing code operations for us. Spring data providing methods to perform the code operations for our table. We no need to write the logic to perform code operations in our tables. So your DAO interfaces will no need to write any methods in the DAO interfaces to perform code operations. So who will take care of the code operations for our tables? Code operations will be taken care by Spring data. You are going to write literally 0 methods to perform code operations, because Spring team thought that everybody doing the same operation, then why everybody has to write the methods with the same logic? We will only provide that logic for you. You just to reuse our logic to perform card operations. So that's where Spring Data came into picture. Spring Data meant for performing card operations for the tables. So if you use Spring Data, you no need to write single line of logic also to perform the card operation. They will provide the methods. You just use those methods. Just call the methods. That's it. So this is one of the main reason why Spring Data became very popular in the market. Programmer no need to write anything. Programmer no need to write anything. Everything is already implemented in the Spring Data. You just need to know how to use those predefined methods provided by Spring Data. But if you go for JDBC, you have to write your own logic. Spring JDBC, you have to write the logic. ORM, you have to write the session factory, session transaction and all. If you go for Spring ORM, still you need to write the logic by using Hibernate template. But if you go for Spring Data, you no need to write anything. You no need to write even single method also to perform card operations. Why? Data is providing those methods for us. Spring Data already implemented the logic to perform the card operations. You just need to use the methods which are provided by Spring Data. Spring Data, if we use Spring Data, then we no need to write even single method also to perform above card operations for tables. The reason, Spring Data providing predefined methods for us to perform. Spring Data providing predefined methods for us to perform card operations. We no need to write anything. We no need to write anything. Sir, Hibernate also provided methods. Hibernate provided, but still you need to write the configuration, session factory, session transaction you need to do. But here if you use Spring Data, you no need to do anything. Everything will be taken care by Spring Data only. So this is one of the main reason Spring Data became popular in the market, because programmer no need to write anything. Still card operations are going to happen in the project. Zero logic, zero lines of code you are writing, but performance of, that persistent operations are going to happen for the tables. So that's why as part of projects development, microservices, especially as part of the microservices development, people are using this Spring Data concept to perform card operations with our tables. Right. So anybody has any questions? Sir, how to work with this Spring Data, that we'll see in the coming classes. So today just introduction part, what is the Spring Data, why the Spring Data became popular in the market, right? There are so many techniques are available to develop persistent logic in the Java applications like JDBC, Spring JDBC, ORM, Spring ORM. Even though why we are learning Spring Data, what is the specialty of the Spring Data? The specialty of the Spring Data is you don't need to write a single method also to perform the card operations. The methods will be provided by Spring Data, just you need to use the methods to perform the card operations. So once we develop our first application, you will get that clarity. All right. So with this, I'm done for today. So if you have any questions, you can ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have submitted assignment. So have you
I will
gone
check
to
that part, sir. I will check that. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Sir, it is uploading that zip file. Fine, I will let you know once that is done. Anyhow, same link. In that link, you can see software folder. In that, you can see that two zips are available. Oracle XE zip and SQL Developer zip will be available. So tomorrow we'll start our first application development by using Spring Data.
Hi,
Right.
Ashok.
Yes, sir.
Are we going to use relationships here, like one-to-one, one-to-many, anything, or internally it will be available in Spring Data?
Yeah, I will show you an example with that. Yep. One of the many people are asking what is the disadvantage of the data. So disadvantage is it is difficult to write the join queries in the Spring Data. It is difficult to write the join queries in the Spring Data, especially they designed the Spring Data for one table communication. If you want to perform card operations with one table, then Spring Data is highly recommended. If you want to join, if you want to write the queries by using complex joins, then Data is not recommended for that.
So at one time you can use Spring ORM and Spring Data and Spring Data.
Sorry?
At the same time you can use the Spring ORM and Spring Data.
Yes,
Spring Data.
Yes. Yes, sir. MongoDB also I will show. MongoDB communication. Actually, I am planning MongoDB as a live session in the YouTube. I will plan for that. I'm preparing a PPT for that. Once my PPT is completed, then I will come to the live for MongoDB.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, as I told that in industry, this Spring Data is not recommended, right? If there are join kind of stuff.
If there,
So,
yes.
instead of the Spring Data, which database we can use in industry?
ORM, not database, ORM. If there is a complex
ORM.
queries, then Spring ORM.
Okay. So for big enterprise applications or banking applications, this ORM is good, right?
Yes, ORM will be used. Nowadays, Spring Data mainly using in the microservice based applications. One microservice will do one small operation, right? For that,
Right.
data will be. If it is enterprise monolithic complex application, data not recommended. For that, we will go for
Right,
Spring
sir.
ORM. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Right.
Hi, sir. It is recommended to we can use in same application different per system fee.
Yes, we can
Like
use it.
there
Spring
is no
JDBC.
impact on.
Yes, Spring JDBC we can use, and Spring Data we can use. We can use multiple also.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Ashok, and we can see how to use multiple databases into one project,
Yes,
like
sir.
creating profiles.
Yes. I'm going to discuss that part also, how to connect with two different databases. I will cover profiles concept as well here. I will show you that practically, how to connect with two different databases.
Yeah, thank you, Ashok. And one more request, in Mango we have like some joins operations and triggers and indexes. If possible, cover those also, please.
Sure. And fine, guys, right. Link people are asking, guys. Daily I'm sharing the link. Why you people are not saving that? I don't understand. You people are joining from mobile. That's why you people are not able to save it. Am I right? Yeah, that is the link. Please copy that link. If you join from mobile, copy that link and send to your family member contact. Then you can save that. You can get that later. Or send to my mobile number. You can get it later. Fine. So I gave the link where softwares folder is available. In that you have two things, Oracle XE as well as SQL Developer. Install both the things and keep your environment ready so that from tomorrow onwards we will start with our first application development. So with this we understood what is Spring Data, why we need to go for that. Spring Data making developers life easy to perform the card operations. We no need to write any method because methods are already provided by the Spring Data. We just need to call those methods to perform card operations. That is the advantage. Coming to the disadvantage part, writing complex join queries is difficult with the Spring Data. It is not meant for working with the relationships. It is meant for performing card operations with the single table. So we have to understand what is the thought process of the Spring team why they released the Spring Data. So Spring Data, they release it to simplify only card operations, not to simplify your join queries. Fine. And Some people are saying that, sir, we are interested for morning 7:30 batch. Parallelly, we want to do. Yes, sir, you can attend morning 7:30 also. I don't have any problem. Most probably, we will start Spring MVC by this Sunday or Monday. So in the morning 7:30 a.m. batch, Spring data is at the end. So today we completed custom generators, and tomorrow I will show them how to connect with the MySQL database and all. Once the data is completed in the 7:30, then Spring MVC will start. So from the Spring MVC, you can join with the 7:30 a.m. Data you can complete in the 9:30 only. MVC you can attend in the 7:30 a.m. Some people are having office timings restrictions, so those people can join in the 7:30 from MVC onwards. MVC will start within 1 or 2 or 3 days of time. I will update that. Yes, I will inform, sir. I will inform when the MVC will start. You will start from within 2 to 3 days. Most probably from Monday it is going to start, or Sunday or Monday. I will inform when you can join. I will share the link also. If everybody is interested, then I will merge that also. Spring data will take 1 week of time, sir. Yeah, 6 a.m. by 6 a.m. to 7:30, 7:30 by 7:30 to 9. 9:30 to 11. Continuous batting, 6 to 11. Right, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.